invite our first interviewee for startup presentation. She comes from Assam, and she also comes from, we both come from same fraternity. We both did the MBA from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. Now after completing her MBA, she has started off with her venture, ARRAS, and I'm pretty much confident that she will be doing great in times to come. And welcome, Unmana, for your stage is all to you now.
I must say I'm delighted to be finally presenting to a physical audience after the 2 years of living in a virtual world. And I'm excited to be here and have this opportunity to speak to you about ARRAS and the work that we do.
Before you begin, you have just 5 minutes and your time starts now.
So one of the first questions that I'm always asked is that when did you start this venture of yours? And I like to say that the documentation dates to 2019, although I've had to hit the reset button many times over the course of the pandemic. But I feel that it's been my experience throughout my life that has helped me build ARRAS and then given the shape that I'm able to give it today. I am born in Guwahati. I'm born and brought up in Assam. On my mother's side, I'm Assamese, and on my father's side, I have my roots in Meghalaya, 2 states out of the 8 beautiful ones that we call the northeast region of India. But when I was 15, I moved to Delhi and I joined a new school. And my teacher asked me to introduce myself to my classmates and tell them where I was from. So I did that. I said I'm from Assam, and then I went to take my seat, and the person behind me tapped me on my shoulder and asked me, "Why did you come to India?" So I joke about this now, but at that moment I was dumbstruck that someone from my own country was asking me where is Assam. But I don't hold these experiences as anything bitter, or I don't harbor any ill will. But when I decided to start my own venture, I knew without a second thought that it had to be connected to my roots, because I wanted to preserve my culture, I wanted to represent it, and I really wanted to promote what we do. So the Indian textile industry, as we know, is the second largest employer in our country. It provides livelihoods to millions of artisans across the country. But what is a rare known fact, is a little known fact, is that 60% of these artisans are actually in the northeast region of India. Close to 1.7 million artisans are weavers, and what is an even more astounding fact is that 90% of these artisans are women. Let me show you a short video on the work that we do with our artisans in Assam. And it's a very unique silk because unlike other types of silk that is produced from silkworms, this silk is cruelty-free in nature. The entire process of silk extraction is done without killing the silkworms. And our artisans are generational artisans. They've learned this craft from their ancestors and they're carrying it forward. They even know how to spin the yarn from the cocoons by hand. We dye it with natural ingredients like tea leaves, turmerics, other locally found berries and plants. And finally, the fabric is woven on a hand-operated loom. As a business, we operate through online retail channels, our own channel, and through third-party websites. And what is a major contributor to how we support the income of our weavers is by through tying up with corporates for gifting, for corporates who share our vision of a sustainable future. So our identity, our design language is in Northeast, but we operate within the boundary of sustainable development. And it's very important that we cannot talk about sustainable development without talking about inclusivity. And as a brand, as a business, we are committed to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Currently, we focus on 3 goals. Goal number 5, which is gender equality. Goal 8, which is decent work and economic growth. And goal 12, which is responsible consumption and production. So recently, we actually conducted a survey of our consumers, and we asked them, what is the primary reason why you chose our clothing? And over 50% of them actually told us that it was because of our usage of sustainable materials. And this made us happy. This was a good insight for us because we actually take a lot of care in choosing our fabrics. We use scientific analysis such as the life cycle assessments in order to know which fabrics to choose. And we in fact also conducted the first ever life cycle assessment for ARRAS in collaboration with a material footprint scientist from the University of Groningen in Netherlands. When I talk about sustainable development, it is also important that we talk about the participation of women, and talk about rural livelihoods, also that the entire supply chain, the entire value chain of our business should be sustainable. It is not just about the fabrics that we use, it is also important in how we are designing it, how we are manufacturing it. Of course, the packaging should be environmentally friendly and even the distribution should be environmentally friendly. I am a woman founder from Northeast India, and ARRAS is an extension of me. I would say that we talk about an underrepresented culture. We work for women, the financial freedom, the financial independence of women, and we advocate for more women in business and as leaders. If you would like to know more about the Northeast, if you would like to talk more about textiles or talk more about sustainable development, then please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Founder of a company called Hemp Affair Private Limited. Hemp is a variety of cannabis sativa. Hemp is a variety of cannabis sativa. Oldest hemp fabric dates back to 8000 BC from Mesopotamia. Christopher Columbus discovered America and his sails were made of hemp. Some of the oldest Bibles are written on hemp paper. Before 19th century, 90% of the fiber used in shipping industry was hemp. Hemp is antibacterial, antifungal, mold and mildew resistant, UV resistant, and strongest natural fiber. It deodorizes, and 1 acre of hemp gives double the amount of fiber compared to cotton. Cotton, although grown on 0.3% of the world land, is accountable for 25% of the insecticide and pesticide used. And it's a very water intensive crop. It's also called thirsty crop. Hemp grows without insecticide, pesticides, and you can cultivate hemp with natural irrigation, without watering from external sources, and without use of insecticide and pesticide. You can grow hemp. You can see a promotional video now. So hemp is a multi-purpose crop. You can make biofuel from it, you can make thermocomposites from it, you can also make paper from it. Paper made from trees is recyclable up to 3 to 4 times, and paper made from hemp can be recycled up to 7 to 8 times. You can also make medicines, you can make protein powder, vegan protein powder from hemp. And apart from that, we source hemp fiber from Uttarakhand, and then we decorticate it. That is, we separate hemp fiber and hemp herbs, and then we convert it into yarn. There are different techniques of converting it into yarn through dry spinning, wet spinning, and then we weave the fabrics in clusters, thus giving employment to rural people. We work in 4 clusters as of now in Coimbatore, in 2 clusters in Uttar Pradesh, one in Varanasi, one in Amroha, and one in West Bengal. And we do botanical printing as well. You can see some of our products there. I mean, the botanical printing is totally chemical free. All the dyes, all the prints are from plants, and dyes are used. Dyes are made from tree barks using mangista and all. So it's totally chemical free. There are no fixers used. And we use natural fixers like Rynjah to fix the color fastness. Apart from that, we also import hemp from Europe, from China as well. And then we do hemp fiber trading as well. We do sell hemp yarn as well. So on 6th of June, we are doing a national launch with a company called Duroflex. We are doing a national launch with them. And we are selling overseas as well as in India. We export to Israel, USA, New Zealand, Australia, Ethiopia, Sweden, Italy. So we have sent shipments to all these countries. Apart from that, I mean, we plan to expand into more clusters, and right now we employ around 150 artisans. So that's it.
Hello everyone, my name is Anil and I am representing brand art. But here the meaning of art is anti-radiation textile. So I would like to start with a small video. Yeah. So according to the WHO, wireless radiation is classified in group 2B, which means it can produce cancer. It has been certified, and also there are some action has been taken by French government. Wi-Fi is banned for under 3 years of age in nursery schools, and some other countries are also adopting this phenomena like Russia, Belgium, Israel, and others. Too many devices for long period of time is chronic exposure. Till now we were having limited exposure, but as we know 5G is going to come, and there are multiple, right now if you search in your mobile phone, you will find more than 10-20 Wi-Fi connections. So that is dangerous to our health. Even in India, some movement is carried forward by Juhi Chawla. So I will be covering just 3 things: what is EMF, and the negative effects, and the what solution we are providing as a startup. So EMF is the full form of EMF is electromagnetic frequencies, and there are 2 types of EMF. One is natural and other is man-made. The sunlight is a good example of a natural EMF, but which is concerning is microwave EMF, which has been produced by Wi-Fi routers, 3G, 4G, and even 5G phones, which are dangerous, and cell phone towers and microwave ovens. These frequency, if you can see it can penetrate 10 to the power 8 times through inside our skin. So just certain facts from different agencies. US government has found a connection with brain tumor, and even it is harmful for pregnant women. Prolonged use of TMF can disturb our natural heart beating. Also it is harmful for the reproduction system. So now I would like to talk about my solution, what solution I am providing as a business. So this is a live example. You are saying how this textile works. This application can be implemented in anywhere, any form of textile product. So here I have created a anti-radiation T-shirt. This is the device which can measure the radiation level. you can see the effect, what is happening. And this is the technology which is used is a nanotechnology. Unfortunately, we don't have any ecosystem here in India, so I have to rely for raw material to the other countries. For the testing lab, I am doing it from Switzerland and Germany. So, I am NFID alumni from Bangalore, and I have done MBA from Singapore. And my working partner is PhD in EMF radiation from Germany. And we want to create a revolution in India. We want to make the EMF product from India actually. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anil. Now we would like to invite Manish Kumar Gupta from Fliqus Support Systems LLP.
Good evening. I would like to ask a question. What is the main purpose of a garment or apparel? What we are thinking about? I think the answer would be the protect ourselves from environmental extremities. But in those days, what we have found that this very important aspect we have missed in last few decades. And the color combination, style, effect, all those things are most important part right now in our apparel industry. So, but Corona taught us that environmental protection or protection from the pathogens is most important part again for the garmenting and apparel. So definitely color combination, fashion and all those things are important, but beyond that we have to have focus on some kind of work wear which is most important part of our safety. Here we have filed a patent some 5 years ago for the purpose of now I'm coming to the basically first point that our vision is to provide the most effective protective wear to the common man who or the people who are working as a frontline staff, because everyone counts. In fact, if you will see that why the requirement of the safety is there, if you will see the picture, you will find a lot of people are working in the like that condition, like those situations where they are really unsafe and they are putting in dangers to other people also. And ILO estimates that 2.3 million people every year succumb to work-related accident or diseases, and many of the families lost their bread and butter. And why the people are having reluctancy for safety work wear? That is the major point what we have found in the last few years working. What we have found that every safety work wear is uncomfortable, almost every. And that uncomfortability make them demotivated for not to using any safety work wear at all. So in order to sort out this problem, Fliqus support system has been worked out a design which can be most acceptable and very much useful for the people, and they are ready to bear it all. And the comfortability can be improved many times, manifold. So
Manish, you're left with only 30 seconds.
Sir, I want to final that design I want to show you just now. Actually, the video is not started. It's working in this. 1 minute. 1 minute. So this I want to conclude it. So this safety workwear having patented authorization from Director General of Patents and Trademarks, and we are providing this safety workwear across the India through our website also, and one company have already worked with us for as a manufacturing support, Genus Apparel, and now we are going to work out with other associations in order to make it a global product, so that we can protect our frontline staff across the globe who is facing a lot of pathogenic hazards or other kind of hazards for such as heat, fire and other kind of hazards. This is the safety workwear, how we are using it. I am just showing this
Manish,
and how it is foldable.
Manish, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Because of paucity of time, we could not give you more time. Now I would like to invite Miss Raheli Sarkar from To Tomorrow OPC Private Limited. She is from NIFT, and she and her company organization name is To Tomorrow OPC Private Limited.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Neha Kheda. I am working as a head designer. I have a 18-year experience in this field. I am working for many buying houses and the export houses. Now I have joined to Mr. Manish. We are working on safety wear product. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello everyone, this is Vidula and I'm here with the panelist Samiksha Bajaj, and I'm an ex-hotelier, and this is one of the first workshops I'm attending on eco-textile and handlooms, and it's been a very good experience so far. Thank you.
I think we'll start now that we'll resume our presentation round, and please go.
Everyone, my name is Raheli Sarkar. I'm the founder of To Tomorrow. And as the name suggests, we are here to create a better tomorrow, not just for us, but for the overall humankind. To Tomorrow is a low-carbon home wellness startup focusing on functional home textiles that solves the problem of indoor air pollution. Our USP lies in our functionality, which is achieved through different technologies like carbon capture technology, where we collect PM 2.5 in the air and convert them into textile dyes and pigments, which can later be used for printing. And apart from that, we also work with different textile nanotechnologies that converts any normal, ordinary fabric into an air purifying fabric. And just to let you guys know, with respect to my educational qualification, I'm a designer. But if there is anything that fascinates me more than design, it is actually science and technology and its interaction between each other, which helps us develop innovative products. A few months back, almost around September 2021, I came across an article which said that Delhi is the most polluted capital in the world, and it has actually received this title for the 4th time in a row in 2022. So, as an Indian who is specifically living in Delhi for the past 6 years, I'm definitely aware of the fact that air pollution is a big problem in India. But I was not actually aware of the severity of the problem until I came across more articles which stated that it actually gives birth to different health disorders, mental health disorders, and also affects the economy of the country. All in all, air pollution is basically a silent killer which kills the health, the economy, and also the society. If we have to talk about numbers, air pollution actually gives birth to 1.7 million premature deaths in India, which is almost 17.8% of the total number of deaths in India. Apart from that, it also reduces our life expectancy by 5.2 years in some cities and also up to 11 years in some cities like Lucknow or Kanpur. Apart from that, Indian businesses also suffer an economic loss. Like in 2019, they suffered an economic loss of 36.8 billion US dollars, which is approximately 1.39% of India's GDP. And let's not forget about the mental health disorders we just talked about, which also gives birth to social disorders. And last but not the least, we all know that India's aspiration to become a $5 trillion economy by 2024 will also be affected if the GDP are affected like this.
So Ms. Sarkar, how much more time? We are short of time.
I'll quickly finish, don't worry.
Sure.
Thank you. So, alright, so the first step towards change is actually awareness and then backed by action, and I think the numbers have helped us enough to be aware of the consequences of air pollution. So now let's just move on with the action part, and whenever we are talking about action, I think we should definitely talk about True Tomorrow. So as I already mentioned, we are making air purifying home textiles, and actually our wellness source is a nanotechnology. And these nanotechnologies actually cater to different VOCs, aldehydes, formaldehydes, benzene, carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide, and converts them into harmless particles like carbonates, nitrates and nitrites. The best part about these fabrics, these air purifying fabrics, is that it does its job without the use of any equipment, any noise, any electricity, any carbon emissions, which you would otherwise find in a normal traditional air purifier. Apart from that, let's not just get into the numbers and the price, because obviously it's almost 10x lesser than the price of a normal air purifier.
Ms. Sarkar.
I was having some difficulty with the connectivity of the PPTs.
But we are short of time. Only 30 more seconds, please.
Thank you. In terms of, since we're talking about nanotechnology, let's also talk about how it actually works. So it works just like photosynthesis in plants, and as we all know, photosynthesis works only during the day. But this nanotechnology has two processes, mainly catalytic reaction and the photocatalytic reaction, which ensures that it functions throughout the day and throughout the night. And apart from that, our current target sectors are interior designing firms, furniture makers, furniture manufacturers, wellness centers, mattress companies and automobile industry. And currently we have developed product for the first three industries you can see over here, which is interior designing firms, furniture makers and wellness centers. We have developed curtains, cushion covers, upholstery and blinds for these industries, and all of them are air purifying curtains and products. And last but not the least, that's it from my end, and never be afraid of change unless it's climate change, because that's going to
Excellent. Thank you so much.